You know, when it comes to the new Nintendo Switch games that I'm looking forward to on the Nintendo Switch, I'd have to say the top 3 games are the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the Mega Man Battle Network Collection, which I hope we get a release date on that soon, and the fight for the 3rd spot has to be between Dragon Quest Treasures, Fire Emblem Awakening, and Octopath Travelers 2. I just can't decide. By the way, what new Nintendo Switch games are you looking forward to? Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robotron Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwood or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video and dislike if not. In this video, we are going to talk about 2 quotes from the Nintendo investor meeting that could make me a bit worried about the future of the Nintendo Switch prices when it comes to the consoles and the prices of the games as well. And it also has me a little bit worried about the Mario movie and how good it's gonna be despite the great trailer that we had for the first movie trailer. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, it helps the video reach more viewers when you do, which means I have more time for animations like this, and of course more time for other videos as well. And my Twitter handle is RoboRob93 if you want to see some previews on those animations. So the Nintendo Switch is selling very well, both in sales and in consoles. It seems like every single franchise that hits the Nintendo Switch ends up being its best-selling game out of its respective franchise. Whether that's in certain places or just overall sales worldwide, it's clear that the Nintendo Switch is a non-stop sales machine when it comes to new Nintendo Switch games and the consoles as well. Now, it's not cheap, but for the $500 that you get for the higher-end Sony and PlayStation consoles, it's a lot cheaper. On top of that, people own multiple Nintendo Switches per household. Nintendo has confirmed this in the investor meeting, as well as my own comment section with many of you guys saying that you own multiple Nintendo Switches. Whether that's because you like the new editions of the OLEDs or you just have multiple people in your household. The price is a big factor in how many multiple Switch households there are, but we might be in for a future where the Nintendo Switch and the games for it might cost a little bit more. This is what Nintendo said in the investor meeting when asked about the price increase due to the value of yen. We have no plans to raise the hardware prices at this time. However, as yen continues to depreciate on a larger scale and for a longer period of time expected, we will continue to closely monitor the situation and make careful considerations. So this is Nintendo saying that they are considering it if yen continues to decline. Especially in Japan, it is true that the profitability of hardware is declining due to the long period of significant depreciation of the yen. Our recognition of the impact of other factors such as inflation remains unchanged. Although we do not believe that there is significant impact at this time, we will continue to monitor the impact of sales of our products. So what does all this corporate mumbo jumbo mean? Well, it means the value of yen, the currency in Japan, is currently dropping and Nintendo is going to increase the price if it continues to drop, or at the very least they're considering it. Now personally, I don't think it's going to be a significant increase. You're not going to be paying as much for the higher end consoles like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X for the Nintendo Switch. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think if yen continues to drop, there is a high possibility that Nintendo could increase the price of the Nintendo Switch. And of course, if the Nintendo Switch is increasing its price due to the yen depreciation, that means the consoles and the games and everything around the Nintendo Switch is also going to increase as well. There is a potential for the games themselves to increase to say $70. We are already seeing some $70 Nintendo Switch games pop up here and there. It's extremely rare right now, but they are on the Nintendo Switch and on the eShop. So if this continues to happen, the depreciation of yen in Japan, I think it's not a matter of how it could happen or if it's going to happen, I think it's when. Now, I don't think it's going to be an increase that's going to be significant like I said before, especially with how weak the hardware is in the Nintendo Switch. I think people are already reaching a boiling point with it in the first place. When it comes to the price of the Switch versus power, it was good for the first 3 to 5 years, but now I think more than ever, especially after Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, people are starting to like the idea of a more powerful Switch that can do more. And you know what? Let me know in the comment section below if you're ready for a new Nintendo Switch that's more powerful or just a new console in general. I'd be extremely interested if you guys reflect my views on this current situation of the Switch hardware's power, and if you do want a new Nintendo Switch with better performance, better resolution, better frame rate, and so on. Or are you okay with the current Nintendo Switch performance? Let me know in the comment section below. Personally, I think I'm ready for one. While Scarlet and Violet while it wasn't the Switch's entire fault, some of that fault does lie with GameFly. I think other games like Bayonetta 3, which had some back-end problems that a lot of you guys didn't notice, but if you watched MVG's video, you know that we do need a little bit more in the Switch. I think better hardware would help with that. Now let's say this price does increase in 1 to 2 years along with the Nintendo Switch Pro, which is going to be interesting what that's going to be priced, but right now we're focusing on the main Nintendo Switch and the OLED, and the Nintendo Switch Lite as well, of course. Personally, I would understand why. I wouldn't like it. I don't like price increase, but if it needs to happen to continue to produce these Nintendo Switches, there's nothing you can really do, right? I think the only other way would be that Nintendo would have to take a bigger loss in revenue and make that up in software and subscriptions. That's how a lot of these consoles actually make their money back. Sometimes they do launch at a loss. They make them up in subscriptions and software. And continuing with the Nintendo investor meeting, Nintendo recently talked about the Mario movie and other IPs and how they're going to be making them. And this is what Nintendo says. For the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I worked with Illumination founder and CEO for 7 years on planning the stage and 6 years from the production stage. So I think that's one positive here. Miyamoto was working in the stages when making this movie. So that's a very, very good thing right now. The fact that Miyamoto was working on the movie, if this movie fails, I would be incredibly shocked. Anyways, let's continue. In doing so, he thought about the appeal of making games into films and what the customers were looking for. For example, novels and comics, including the stories that have already been enjoyed by customers. So I think that their visuals is a guarantee to some extent. On the other hand, since the game experience is what makes it interesting to customers, I am not sure that customers will necessarily find it interesting to create visuals that follow the game story. And this is where I'm a little bit worried, but I'll talk about that later on, because there is a second part to this quote that gives me a little bit more hope on that. I'll explain later. Also, those who have played the game expect a visual representation that will not disappoint their memories of the game, and those who have never played the game expect an interesting work as entertainment and entertainment. I don't know why that says that twice. This translated from Japanese to English, so there is going to be some wonky words in there. Link to the whole thing will be in the pinned comment, by the way. I probably should have mentioned that in the beginning of the video. He goes on to say that all the stuff that Miyamoto is seeing himself from this movie, he says it's working great and it's looking great, so I do have a lot of faith in this, but I just hope it doesn't fail. The one sentence that kind of sets the red flags off is, I am not sure that the customers will necessarily find it interesting to create visuals to follow the game story. Here we go. Oh boy, this could end up really bad, because this is one of the traps that a lot of movies fall into. Nintendo, this is exactly what we want though. This is what we want. We want to feel like we're watching a movie version of the game, but still add some new things with it. The reason why we love the Mario trailer is because it reminds us of the game. The reason why we like Sonic is because it reminds us of the game. It's the characters that we like in a movie format. It doesn't feel like some deformed distortion of the characters that we know from the game, like the first design for Sonic, for instance. This is one of the huge traps that so many video game movies fall into, and shows as well. Their pursuit of trying to do their own thing so much that they stray so far from the source material that they forget that their target audience are the people who enjoyed the source material in the first place. You shouldn't be worrying about the wide range of people who don't know the source material as much as the people who are actually going to be seeing this for the fact that it is the movie version of the game that they love. If a person who never played these games and doesn't know the universe, doesn't know the characters or the lore, sees this movie and doesn't like it, well then it's not for them. You shouldn't be trying to have that be your target audience. That's a big move that could end up making your movie a failure. Things like that are core to the character, if they didn't like it, well then the movie's just not for you. There are certain things that make characters their own character, and if you strip that away and try to make them into something else, usually that doesn't work. This goes as far as not just the characters themselves, but the world around them. Assassin's Creed, for instance, they try to introduce their own characters and it just didn't work. You have to treat the world as a character itself, just like you would treat the characters too. Now, so far from the Mario trailer, it looks fantastic. It looks exactly what I would expect from the Mario movie. But as far as I've learned this year, there were plenty of trailers that have misled me. I go to the movie theaters at least once or twice a week, and I have been for the past 5 years. I know that's a lot. I love going to the movie theaters though, so I've been able to recognize when the trailer just doesn't live up to the actual movie. I'm actually going to the movie theaters today, now that I think about it, in about 4 hours. And that is the end of my rant. I would just really like this movie to be successful because I think we can get some fantastic shows and movies out of these Nintendo IPs. Imagine getting a Metroid or Metroid Prime show, or a Legend of Zelda show, or even another Kirby show. Imagine this would be amazing. Imagine getting a Metroid Prime show that was animated by Studio Trigger, the ones behind Edge Runners. That would be just amazing. Tell me in the comment section which IPs you would like to see next after Mario get an animated movie or an anime or something like that. And make sure you tell me specifically like what kind, like is it a movie or is it gonna be a TV show or maybe just like maybe a web series. I think that would be pretty cool just as a test for some of the more lesser known Nintendo characters. You can like make episodes on the Nintendo channel and just have them be viewed for free. That would be pretty cool as well. Now they do have the quote about them saying that those who have played the game expect a visual representation that will not disappoint their memories of the game, and those who have never played the game expect an interesting work as entertainment, and there is the word entertainment there twice for some reason, but you guys get my point. So at the very least, that is a positive. It kind of goes against what they're saying in the first quote, so there is some kind of understanding on what makes good video game movies good video game movies. So I'm hoping this is just a dumb worry that I have about the movie and it's nothing, and the Mario movie is going to be fantastic, and we're going to get a ton of other cool shows and movies from Zelda. Maybe even Capcom can make their own as well. We can get another Battle Network series. That series was actually pretty good. Overall, guys, interesting stuff from the Nintendo investor meeting. Again, there will be a link in the pinned comment if you guys want to read all 4 pages for yourself, but I did cover them in other videos, which will also be in the linked pinned comment and also in the description as well, whichever one you choose. Make sure you guys drop your thoughts in the comment section below on the possible future of a price increase for the Nintendo Switch and of course the games as well and other Nintendo products, as well as Nintendo possibly straying a little bit farther away from the usual Super Mario type character you're going to be used to seeing in the video games in the new movie. And I will see you guys in the next video. And if not on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.